What if I told you that one of the most powerful foods for protecting your heart after 50 isn't an exotic superfood or a pricey supplement, it's something sitting quietly in your kitchen right now? The humble onion. Yes, onions. The same vegetable we often push aside for its strong smell or tear-inducing bite could actually be one of your body's greatest defenders against heart disease, high blood pressure, and even dangerous cholesterol buildup. Here's the truth. As we age, our risk for heart problems rises sharply. By the time you reach your 50s and 60s, the blood vessels naturally stiffen, blood pressure tends to climb, and cholesterol can sneak up on you even if you feel healthy. But here's the hopeful part. Science shows that small, consistent changes in diet can make a huge difference in how well your heart ages. And onions surprisingly hold a treasure chest of compounds that work behind the scenes to relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and calm inflammation. In today's video, we'll uncover the onion's hidden secrets for heart health, how to use them safely, and why this everyday food might just be the most underrated medicine in your pantry. Once you cross the age of 50, your heart begins to face new challenges that weren't as noticeable in your younger years. It's not just about how many birthdays you've celebrated, your body truly changes on the inside. The arteries, which once were flexible and elastic, gradually become stiffer. This makes it harder for blood to flow smoothly, and as a result, blood pressure starts creeping upward. The heart itself has to pump harder, which puts stress on the whole system. Cholesterol, especially the bad LDL type, has more opportunity to build up along artery walls, slowly forming plaques that narrow the vessels. That's why heart disease remains the #1 cause of death in the United States, especially for men and women over 50. According to the CDC, nearly half of adults in this age group have some form of cardiovascular condition or elevated risk factor. The good news, small changes matter. You don't need extreme diets or impossible exercise routines to protect your heart. Consistency is far more powerful than perfection. Simple habits like walking daily, staying hydrated, and choosing foods rich in antioxidants can slow or even reverse these age-related risks. And this is where the onion steps in. Though it may look like just another vegetable, its natural compounds work almost like a gentle tune-up for your heart and arteries. It's affordable, it's accessible, and the science behind it is surprisingly strong. So what exactly makes onions so powerful for heart health? Let's take a closer look at the nutrients packed inside this humble bulb. First, onions are surprisingly rich in vitamin C, an antioxidant that supports blood vessel health, strengthens the immune system, and helps fight the free radicals that can damage arteries over time. They also contain vitamin B6 and folate, both of which help regulate homocysteine levels in the blood, a compound that when too high has been linked to greater risk of heart attacks and strokes. Onions are also a good source of potassium, a mineral that naturally helps lower blood pressure by balancing the effects of sodium. For people over 50, when blood pressure control becomes critical, this is a simple but important benefit. But the real magic lies in the antioxidants and sulfur compounds unique to onions. Onions are loaded with quercetin, a flavonoid that has been widely studied for its heart protective effects. Quercetin helps relax blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and improve circulation. It's like giving your arteries a gentle daily massage. Then there are the sulfur compounds, the same ones responsible for that strong smell and the tears in your eyes when you chop onions. These compounds act as natural blood thinners, reducing the risk of clot formation, and they also support healthy cholesterol levels. When you put all these nutrients together, onions act almost like a multivitamin for your cardiovascular system, except they're natural, inexpensive, and easy to add to everyday meals. And here's the best part. While supplements often give you just one nutrient at a time, onions deliver this powerful combination in perfect balance the way nature intended. Now that we know what's inside an onion, let's talk about how those compounds actually work inside your body. High blood pressure is one of the biggest threats after 50, silently damaging arteries without obvious symptoms. The quercetin in onions has been shown in studies to relax blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely. This reduces strain on the heart. Think of it as easing the pressure on a garden hose, less stress, less wear and tear. Too much LDL cholesterol can form plaques that clog arteries, while HDL cholesterol acts like a cleanup crew. Onions help tilt the balance in the right direction. Research suggests quercetin and sulfur compounds can lower LDL while supporting healthy HDL. Over time, this keeps arteries clearer and more resilient. Blood clots are a major cause of heart attacks and strokes. While clotting is necessary for healing cuts, too much can be life-threatening inside arteries. Onions contain natural antithrombotic agents compounds that reduce excessive clotting. In simple terms, onions help keep your blood flowing smoothly like oil, preventing rust in machinery. Chronic low-level inflammation is often called the silent fire behind many diseases, including heart disease. Onions are anti-inflammatory powerhouses. Their antioxidants calm the body's inflammatory response, protecting the delicate lining of blood vessels from damage. By combining these effects, lower pressure, better cholesterol balance, fewer clots, and less inflammation, onions essentially tune up the circulatory system. This means more oxygen and nutrients reach your organs, muscles, and even your brain. And here's the important takeaway. You don't need massive amounts to see results. Studies suggest that even moderate regular consumption of onions, just a few slices in a salad, a small portion cooked with dinner, can have measurable effects on blood pressure and cholesterol. In other words, you don't need a prescription to start protecting your heart. You just need to start adding onions to your plate. Not all onions are created equal. Though every type carries heart benefits, some varieties pack an even bigger punch. Red onions are the champions when it comes to antioxidants. Their deep purple-red color comes from anthocyanins, powerful compounds that work alongside quercetin to fight inflammation and protect blood vessels. If your goal is to maximize heart health, red onions deserve a regular spot on your plate. Yellow onions are the most common and versatile in cooking. They still offer plenty of quercetin and sulfur compounds, especially when lightly cooked. Think of them as your everyday workhorse onion, easy to find, easy to use, and still protective. White onions tend to be milder in flavor and lower in antioxidants, but they're still a healthy choice, especially for those who find red or yellow onions too strong. Shallots and green onions provide a gentler taste with similar heart protective compounds. They're great for people with sensitive digestion or for adding a fresh touch to salads and soups. The key takeaway: rotate your onions. By mixing red, yellow, white, and green varieties, you'll get a broad spectrum of antioxidants and flavors, keeping meals interesting while giving your heart the diverse protection it deserves. Knowing onions are good for your heart is one thing, making them a consistent part of your meals is another. The good news is, onions are one of the easiest foods to work into everyday cooking. Raw onions deliver the strongest dose of antioxidants, especially red onions. Adding a few thin slices to a salad sandwich or wrap gives you an instant heart-healthy boost. If raw onions feel too sharp, soak them in cold water for 10 minutes before serving. This softens the bite while preserving the nutrients. Cooked onions still retain many of their benefits, and for those with sensitive stomachs, they're often much easier to tolerate. Light sautéing, roasting, or caramelizing onions brings out a sweet, mellow flavor without destroying their heart-friendly compounds. Toss roasted onions into vegetables. Mix them into whole grain pasta or fold them into omelets for a gentle, delicious upgrade. Pairing onions with other heart foods makes their benefits even stronger. Combine onions with garlic and olive oil for a classic Mediterranean-style base, a cooking tradition proven to support cardiovascular health. Add onions to soups with beans and lentils, or stir them into dishes with fish rich in omega-3s, and you've created a meal that truly loves your heart back. As for how much, studies suggest even modest amounts make a difference. Eating about half of a medium onion per day, whether raw, lightly cooked, or mixed into meals, provides enough compounds to start supporting blood pressure and cholesterol levels over time. The key is consistency, not perfection. By simply adding onions here and there throughout the week, you create small but powerful habits that strengthen your heart health naturally and affordably. Let me share a simple story that shows just how powerful small changes can be. A few years ago, a gentleman named Robert, 62 years old, retired, living in Ohio, went for his routine checkup. His doctor gave him news he didn't want to hear. His cholesterol was high, and his blood pressure was edging into dangerous territory. Medication was an option, but Robert wanted to try improving his lifestyle first. So he started walking every day, cut back on fried foods, and added more vegetables to his meals. One easy change he made was including onions in his cooking. At first, it was just a few slices in his salad. Then he started sautéing onions with olive oil, adding them to soups, and even roasting red onions with sweet potatoes for dinner. 6 months later, Robert went back for another checkup. His cholesterol had dropped, his blood pressure was lower, and his doctor was genuinely impressed. Robert hadn't done anything extreme, just small, consistent habits with onions quietly playing a part. His story is a reminder. Protecting your heart doesn't always require big sacrifices. Sometimes it's the everyday foods like onions that quietly make the biggest difference over time. As heart-friendly as onions are, it's also important to use them wisely, especially after 50 us. When digestion and medications can complicate things. For some people, raw onions can trigger gas bloating or acid reflux. If that's you, try lightly cooking them instead. Gentle sautéing or roasting reduces the compounds that cause irritation while keeping many of the heart benefits intact. Another tip: pairing onions with foods like yogurt, lemon juice, or vinegar can help soften their bite and make them easier to digest. If you're on blood-thinning medications such as warfarin, keep in mind that onions also have mild natural blood-thinning effects. This doesn't mean you need to avoid them, but it's smart to mention your onion intake to your doctor so they can help you balance things safely. For most people, though, onions are a safe, natural addition to the diet and a simple way to show your heart a little daily care. So what have we learned today? Onions may look simple, but they carry powerful secrets for protecting your heart, especially after 50. Their antioxidants and sulfur compounds help lower blood pressure, balance cholesterol, reduce dangerous clotting, and calm inflammation. Whether you choose red, yellow, white, or green onions, each variety adds its own layer of protection. And the best part: you don't need drastic changes. Just adding half an onion a day sliced into a salad, cooked into a soup, or roasted with your favorite vegetables can quietly support your heart over time. Think of onions as your heart's everyday ally. Affordable, accessible, and effective. If this video gave you something to think about, share it with a friend or loved one who's also looking after their heart. And remember, the smallest daily habits can lead to the biggest long-term rewards. Your heart deserves that care.